Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is another double header video. We've got a Valiant, which is a tier 5 British medium tank, a premium medium tank at that. It's located on the south spawn of Ruinberg and it's under the command of ProvoBob. And that means this was a battle on the Australian and New Zealand server. Now it means there is going to be some bots in this game, and that's why the team lists are up, so you can see which ones are bots and which ones are not. Yep, that DW2 just ahead of him, that's a bot. And the KV2's not. In fact, both DW2s are bots. Seems the wargaming computer likes DW2s for some reason. I think actually it's just creating these bots to balance out the forces. Well, ProvoBob's on with a 75mm gun with 110 alpha, and he's capable of going through 91mm with standard ammo, and with the APCR he'll go through 144. He is rather slow, but he does carry a lot of armour. And you can see he's had ace tankers repeatedly. In fact, you've seen two of the battles that he's actually had on this channel already. He's had a couple of battles, both on Mountain Pass. Well, the first of these battles is on Ruinberg, and you'll see the second battle after this one. Well, he's decided to just cross the main highway, even though there's probably enemy tanks to his right, and he's coming up to a Panzer 4D. He's nicely angled, bouncing the rounds that are coming back at him, and he's trying to go for the weak spot with standard ammo, which of course is the cupola on this thing. If he can get it in. He's having a bit of difficulty there. Ah, this should be a lot easier. Oh no, he fired too soon there. But of course he's bouncing the rounds. Ah, now this is going to be a problem. He's come across a bot, which is a DW2's come right up close to him. He really needs to immobilise that guy. Go for the front track wheel or drive wheel. If he can stop the guy, then he can tear him to shreds. Trying to fire in at the front drive wheel. Took a round from the Panzer 4D. No, that was a bit of a wasted shot there because the guy was pulling back. Now here's that Panzer 4D. Let it dial in. That's it. And he went straight in through the cupola. And yeah, that guy is really taking the shots. Panzer 4D's not having a reliable job at penetrating us. He's hit us in the tracks. But yes, he's taking damage and he has to pull back. Two more shots and he's gone. And the kill shot. Yeah, there you go. T6 medium's a different job altogether, though. That is quite a dangerous opponent, depending on the gun he's got. And here comes a Sentinel. Now, yes, he is able to reliably penetrate us. Although he only got 41 hit points. T6 medium pops up and ProvoBob is doing a good job here of angling. Puts the T6 medium out of the game. Now, can he do the same to the Sentinel? He can actually shoot through that gap. Yes! Okay, go for it again. Nice one into the turret. Sentinel's an Australian tank. Original design, but it's sort of like based on well, original designs that the British had, but they produced this tank and it did seem to work, although it never actually found its way to Europe. It was really basically that the Australians needed to build a tank which they could defend themselves against the Japanese, just in case the Japanese invaded. The Japanese were never really going to take the whole of Australia, but they could have taken the Northern Territories. And of course, well, Australia would have had a lot of difficulty if they did. Okay, KV1 determined to get away, but he tracks him. Got clobbered. Oh, and now we've got that Sentinel back again. In fact, it's a new Sentinel, and he's having to back in his way up against the wall because that Sentinel is perforating him. And now he's in a lot of trouble. In with his armour. He's lost his driver. He's getting reliable pens though. The KV1's disappeared and our team has capped out, so this game is now over. which is kind of good for ProvoBob, because otherwise he was going to suffer a lot of loss of damage, or a lot of loss of hit points. And of course he aims up, pointing his gun right in the direction of, well, you know what, the machine gun port. Let's have a look at the second battle. Okay, second battle's underway. And I didn't mention it in the previous one, but you can see that ProvoBob's actually got 2 marks of excellence on the barrel of his gun. Yes, he has been playing the Valiant quite a lot and getting good results as well. Now again, this is on the Australian-New Zealand server, and that's why there's a little kangaroo mark on the side of his vehicle. Yep, both sides. Well, he is an Aussie. Now the Valiant, probably described best as the worst tank the British ever built. Never actually put into production, built in 1944, but it was too late really for the war, and it wasn't a very good tank. Fairly heavily armoured, decent gun, not a great gun, 75mm gun, capable of 110 alpha, but it was rather superseded, you might say, by a lot of tanks, especially the variants of the M4 and the Firefly. Specifically put it out of commission really, because the Firefly was just so much better. It may have only had an M4 hull, but that 17-pounder gun was so good it could put Tiger tanks out of the game altogether. I think if the Germans had seen a Valiant tank coming towards them, the only way they would have died is laughing. Okay, Cruiser Mark IV down there, which is one of the predecessors, you might say, of the Valiant. Mind you, it is a light tank. Oh, now he's in sight, but he has to back up a little if he's going to get shots on this guy. Oh, and one shot was enough to kill him. Nice. Now, as in the last battles, there are bots, and both the B1s ahead of us are bots. They've got colons in front of and behind their names, and that indicates a bot. And of course, they have to put bots on the server, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have enough players for all of the real players to actually get a decent battle. In this game, there's rather a lot of bots, I'm afraid. It probably is the time of the day that the game actually took place. The same is true on the South American server. If you go on there, if you're on the NA server, you can go onto the South American server, and you'll quite frequently come across a lot of bots and a few real players. And of course, the real players are probably the best players on the enemy team, and they're very difficult to kill. Even with angled armour, that B1 takes a shot, he's damaged. We've got a Stug 4 just over that rise, but ProvoBob's taking a risk that he can get across this gap before the Stug gets his gun to bear. And just around the corner is a Matilda. Now, according to the team list, the Matilda is a live player. In fact, his name is Wallaby. And of course, if you don't know, a wallaby is a kind of kangaroo, and in the UK we do have rather a lot of wallabies. Not British wallabies, these are wallabies that have come from Australia and are at the Whipsnade Zoo, which is nearby where I live, and some of them do escape occasionally, and they live quite comfortably in the British countryside. Of course, when they are spotted, they are recaptured and taken back to Whipsnade. Whipsnade is a rather large zoo in the south of England. Lots of animals there. They have rhinos, they have hippos, lions, tigers, you name it, they've got it. It's a very big open zoo. Well, he's losing hit points. He's lost his driver again. That's one of the problems with the Valiant. You seem to lose your driver a lot. But he's getting good hits on these enemies, and he's well angled. And there goes the Stug 4. Nice. Potentially he's got a high caliber if he keeps up the damage rate. He's got at least 20% of the enemy hit pool in total, but he can't back up too far because there is an enemy tank just down here, and that is a bot. The bot didn't fire on him, but he gets around into the cupola through that impossibly narrow gap. There's only 4 enemies left, but he might as well take down this one. Go for it. Oh, that one didn't. No, I think you need to back up a bit more. That's it. Okay, just take him down. Nice and easy. Standard ammo just goes straight through the armor of Type 95. I guess the Japanese next shot will be a kill shot. Oh, he didn't get it. Go for it, go for it. That's better. I guess the Japanese didn't really expect to come across tank opposition. And of course, with the advent of the M4, the Type 95 was kind of obsolete. And another kill. That's 5. Can he get a top gun? Well, it's a B1 and it's a bot, so yes, he should be able to. He's got his first shot in. He's going to need a few more, at least 4 shots. There's another. That's 2. 3 kill shots to get a top gun. Yes! And that's it. That's the end of the game. There was only 14 enemy tanks and they got them all. And yet again he ends the battle with his driver not alive. And of course that means his driver's not going to get the full amount of XP to boost his crew skills. So you do need to remember to put your crew back into order. Otherwise they miss out on the XP. They don't move up as much as the others do. And yeah, not a good idea. So get your crew back in order. He managed to get an ace tanker in the first game on Ruinberg, a shell-proof, master gunner, duelist, fight for effect, and a bruiser medal. He got a cool headed as well for receiving at least 10 ricochets and non-penetration shots in a row, as well as a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game, and a win rate of 10,364. So even in these brief games, he's actually generating quite a high win rate and a lot of experience. You can see he's actually top of the table, highest damage 2697, highest number of kills 3, and the highest base XP 1424. In fact, the only player over 1,000. He fired 38 rounds, got 28 direct hits and 26 penetrations, and he still ended up with a profit on that game of 42,501 credits, 30 bonds for completing a mission, and 3,631 experience points altogether. If we look at the second battle, we can see that yes, he got another ace tanker on that, both ace tanker games. In this one he managed to get a duelist, fire for effect, and a bruiser, but he also got a high caliber, a top gun, and another steel wall from this game. His win rate was even higher still, 14,365 from this one, but he did come under a lot of pressure from those enemy tanks. They were determined to have a go at him, so were some of the real human players. They wanted to take him down, but unfortunately for them, he was actually better at it than they were, and of course he was nicely angled to block some of their shots, and then of course he could just take down the bots to pick up the top gun. If we look at the team scores, we can see, yes, he got the highest damage, 3,358, but the Wolverine also managed to get over 1,000 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, though, he managed to get the highest, but alongside the Stug 3G on his team, who also got a top gun, 6 kills. And when it came to base XP, yes, he's got the highest in that one, 1,600, the only player over 1,000. The Wolverine didn't get, or rather the Stug didn't get that much in the way of XP, so I think what he was actually doing was kill stealing on very, very weak tanks, whereas ProvoBob was actually doing the biz. He was actually having to strip them of their armour right from the start, taking them on nice and fresh, and that's why he got so much in the way of hit points and also base XP. 40 shots fired, 33 direct hits, 31 penetrations. He's getting much better at it, and I think the more you play a tank, the more accurate you get with the gun, and you understand how it performs. 3,358 hit points of damage, all at close range. He did receive 14 hits from the enemy, 7 of which penetrated, 7 non-penetrations. and block damage of 490 hit points. So that combined with the actual damage he did take was over 1,000, and that was enough for him to get the steel wall. He earned 5,655 hit points of damage, credits, sorry, not hit points of damage, credits from this game. He did have to fire a lot of APCR on some of those enemies, and that's why his credit was reduced. But he did earn 4,080 XP from the game as well, so it wasn't a total loss. In fact, wasn't a loss at all because he made on both. So, very good games by ProvoBob, getting better and better at the Valiant. If you want a tank to actually play on that's going to get a third mark, I would play the Valiant. I think a lot of people who've got Valiants, and well, that's virtually everyone in the game, hate them because they're so slow and fairly easy to take down unless of course you play them correctly. And ProvoBob is, well, he's determined to 3-mark his Valiant, and I suspect he's going to do so sometime in the future, and it won't be long because he's already getting 2 marks. He's got 2 marks on the barrel, but he's already getting very high win 8s, which indicate that he is getting better and better at it. So it's inevitable that sooner or later he's going to 3-mark the Valiant, and we'll probably see that replay on this channel. If you enjoyed that replay and the other one, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. I know I said I was going to close it down, but I'm still doing a few of these videos, just fewer of them, but some of them, you know, double games. And leave a comment down below, and thanks for watching.